Hello, everyone, and welcome back to 31 Days of Halloween on the Calvin Cam podcast, the podcast where we talk about everything spooky and chilling. I'm Anthony, and today we have Phantasm, so let's get into it. All right, we're back. This is day 23. Obviously, Calvin is not here. It was his daughter's birthday, so he has the night off. So I took it upon myself to solo this episode. So today we have Phantasm. And Phantasm is a 1979 American science fiction horror film that was directed and photographed by and edited by Don Carsa-Carelli. Hopefully I said that right. This is the first film in the Phantasm franchise that introduces the Tall Man, which is played by Angus Scrimm, a supernatural and malevolent undertaker who takes the dead of the earth and turns them to dwarf zombies to be sent to the planet as used as useless slaves. He is oppressed by a young boy, Michael Baldwin, who tries to convince his older brother, Jody, Bill Thornberry, and family friend, Reggie Bannister, of the real threat. This movie was good. I thought that this movie had really good pacing. The cinematography in this movie is excellent. There's lots of really nice shots of the Tall Man, just like centered shots, there's shots with him in the hallway, and he has like a mortuary place where he keeps all the dead people, and there's good shots of him in there. There's also good shots when Michael is in bed, where he has the dwarfs come down and grab him. There's a part when he's in the antique shop and he shows a picture. He sees a picture of the Tall Man, like the Undertaker, just like the cinematography in this film is actually really good. The story in this movie, it is kind of all over the place. It starts off with you're in the graveyard and one of their friends, Tommy, gets killed by this woman. Apparently, the woman was supposed to be the Tall Man, but it's hard to, the story isn't balanced. It's everywhere, the whole time you're, okay, this story's about the Tall Man, but you rarely see him. You see him a couple of times, but it's just like, I don't know. It's a weird story. Other than that, Phantasm was locally financed as an independent film, and the cast and crew were amateurs and aspiring professionals. Throughout, the initial reviews were mixed in regards to the dreamlike, surreal-like imagery. Later, in reception, more positive. The film became a cult classic and has appeared on several critics' best horror films list and has been cited in influence of the horror series. It's followed by a couple of sequels this film had. It had Phantasm 2 in 1988, Phantasm 3, Lord of the Dead in 1994, Phantasm 4, Oblivion in 1998, and Phantasm Ravager in 2016. This film did okay in the box office. It grossed $15 million in the United States and Canada in the first 3 months, and it overall grossed about $22 million worldwide. So another good quality is the score. The score comes in and builds a little bit of suspense in certain scenes when Michael goes into the mortuary and breaks in, and he's looking around, and there's dwarves that attack him, and he sneaks into a coffin and spies on the guy. Apparently, the Tall Man himself, he also has these spears that shoot around, and they protect him when he's doing his thing at night. The spears were really depicted well. I thought they were part of another thing of the cinematography that was good. The spears, the camera panning for the spears. This movie was good. The gripe I have about it is the story being all over the place. Okay, So we're going to get into some fun facts for this movie. This is going to be a short episode, audience, because I'm by myself. So I usually have Calvin here to help me with the discussion of this film. So it's going to be a short episode, so bear with me. Okay, the fun facts for this film. Here we go. Don Corsa Kelly rented all of the film's equipment used to make this movie always on Fridays, so he could always use the weekends to return on Mondays as the while only having to pay one day's payment on the rental equipment. That's pretty cool. The stone-looking interior in the mausoleum was actually constructed by plywood and marble colored plastic contact paper. It looked pretty real to me when we're in those scenes where Jody's in there and he's looking at his parents' plot in there. So it kind of looks pretty good. So they did a really good job with that. The flying ball, which is the spear, scenes were simple special effects. The spear was thrown from behind the camera by a baseball pitcher and then the shot was printed and in reverse. The ball attached to the caretaker's head was actually filmed by sticking the ball in his head, pulling it off, and printing the shot in reverse. Okay, so that's how they did those shots. That's kind of interesting. The mansion used for the exterior shots in the mausoleum was also seen in Burnt Offerings in 1976 and A View to a Kill in 1985. That's pretty cool. Entertainment Weekly ranked this as the 17th scariest film of all time. It does have its elements. When the tall man pops up, he pops up in, like I said, multiple places, behind Michael, in front of Michael, in his bedroom, and at the end of the film, when you get the climax, he goes, boy, and he pops out and grabs him. Okay, we got a couple more here. The name of Star Wars: The Force Awakens villain, Captain Phantasma, was chosen as a reference to Phantasm. Director Abrams said, "Phantasma, I need a sick because of the amazing chrome design that came from Michael Kaplan's wardrobe. It reminded me of the ball in Phantasm, so I just thought I'd put Phantasma because it sounded really cool." So that's a really cool nod to Star Wars. That was awesome. The 1997 computer game Blood pays homage to the film in the first level of Episode 1, The Cradle of the Grave. This level takes place in the Morningside Mortuary, which is the mortuary that they see in the film. In the 1998 sequel, Blood 2, The Chosen, the weapon named the Orb emulates the metal spear by flying into someone's head as an enemy and drilling their brains out and spraying blood everywhere, kind of like the sphere. That's really, really cool. So this movie has a cult following. So that's cool that they had some inspiration with a game. So that was really, really interesting. So yeah, that's all the fun facts I have. I'm sorry we're cutting this episode short. No Calvin tonight, so I'm trying to do my best to just keep us going, keep us trucking on the 31 days of Halloween. So my conclusion for this film, I'd have to say I'm going to give it 3 stars because one being the one things that stand out in this film that are great are the cinematography, the practical effects when they do happen with the blood and stuff. The score is good, and the reason why I would give this 3 stars is because the story is just all over the place. The acting was not the best. I should have mentioned that earlier, but I didn't. So yeah, that's why I would rate this film as a 3 stars. Other than that, thanks for joining for this short episode. Sorry I said Calvin is away for family things with his daughter's birthday. But anyways, thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow. Calvin will be back, and we'll be back for the regular dynamic duo of me and him. All right, take care, and thank you for watching.
Thank you all so much for watching the Calvin Cam podcast. You can find us on any social media platforms like Instagram or Twitter. Go check our podcast out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or Amazon Music. We also have YouTube channel, The Calvin Cam. Go over there, hit that like and subscribe button, and follow us there, as well as you can now really support us on patreon.com. It's probably the best place to support us. So you could go there, join one of our 3 tiers, and help us get bigger and better, and we will appreciate you every step of the way. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a good night.